So we are continuing with the theme of coaching sessions, and this particular episode um, is basically dealing with clients, I could say, that feel a certain kind of way because in their ideal world they should have been married, have kids, um, all before 35, but it ended up being that they have never been married or just not married at this time and with no kids or never had kids, don't have kids at all. And so some people, you know, I'm not sure if I should call it I don't like to use the word depression, but there's some type of thought processes that they go through and emotions that they feel because by most of the time it's by their time frame that they did not have kids and they've reached a certain age. And I do feel like it is pressures from family, yes, pressure from themselves, and then of course society, because this whole social media hashtag bae and husband and I don't know what the one for the family is, but just the whole dog picket fence and 2.5 kids, they haven't so-called achieved that. And I believe in most of the time I am coaching women. So um, most of the time these are women, successful women, or just women learning themselves, basically. It's just another area in their life that they have not achieved their perceived, um, their perceived um, goal. I'll say goal. So I feel like we do, and we should have goals, right? We should have goals. We should set aspirations for us to achieve. At the same time, there have to be, and y'all know how I feel about this word too, balance. There has to be um, certain boundaries or certain parameters or a certain balance where you're not over more to the left and the right, meaning that if you set these goals, you set the milestones to reach certain goals, and if you don't achieve that goal by this certain time, that it's okay that you did not, and your whole world don't come into a tizzy. Basically, you don't become frantic, panicked, overwhelmed, frustrated, ashamed, guilty, whatever all of those emotions are, because you had not fulfilled this milestone or this achievement yet. It's not as if you can't, it's not as if you won't. So I am sometimes amazed. You all right? You all right? Look here. Am I boring you?
It's early in the morning.
My goodness.
It's really early in the morning, guys.
They ain't got to know all that. My gosh. Get yourself together over there. Dang. Now, where was I?
I can't control it.
Yes. All right.
I cannot.
Lord.
I cannot control a yawn, guys.
Yeah.
Now.
Anywho, I'm going to go ahead and give you the microphone since you over there. Okay. Bored.
Finish your thought.
Bored.
No, I'm sleepy.
Oh my gosh. So all I'm saying is that, I coaching these women, I want to know, like, you guys' thoughts on this is how do we become so panicked, so rushed, so pressured, so stressed, so just our world it becomes unbalanced because we didn't get to this milestone, as if we can't get to it, or is as if it may take a little longer. Life happens, so you may not achieve that goal at the time frame you set, but just think about all the things that you have achieved. So what is it about this one particular goal that just make people just like, I don't know, go do things to get something or for something, that you just, I believe, should just wait on timing for, or wait till you're actually ready to have to have that. If it hasn't happened yet, it doesn't mean it won't happen. Kristy, what are your thoughts?
Well, I think it's reasonable. I think as far as like biologically, right?
Mm-hmm.
It is a reasonable concern if you are over 35 without any children, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have a man in sight, right? Mm-hmm. So, and I remember, and I'm gonna be extremely candid, so please excuse me. Years ago, I would say over 5 years ago,
mm-hmm.
My particular body,
mm-hmm.
living in a very populated major city,
mm-hmm.
my particular body decided that it wanted to let its biology be up front and center, right?
Yeah.
And I was not trying to have a child, right?
Wasn't thinking about having.
I wasn't thinking about having no child.
Mm-hmm.
But my ovaries,
your body,
my fallopian tube
was like
it was like putting out beacons, like you. What about him? Can we have a baby with him? Walking down the street now, right?
Yeah.
It got intense, and so for someone that didn't concentrate on that or whatever, like I thought something was wrong with me.
No.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Especially as as a Christ believer, you're taught that, that's lust and this is wrong. But then I had to realize, and this is what I say to my clients.
Mm-hmm.
Certain things are just biology.
It's natural, yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't have to beat yourself up. You don't have to yes, you do have to go to the throne for a bunch of stuff, but you don't have to go to the throne, I believe, on the way God made your body.
No.
So, with that being said, being over 35 without having a child, and you can feel your body and you know what your body's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Women, we know when, eggs are being released,
mm-hmm.
right? We know when we are ovulating. By the time you get 35,
mm-hmm.
by the time you get 40,
mm-hmm.
by the time you get 45, you know exactly which ovary released the egg, what time of the day it was.
Oh my God.
Because you feel it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't feel my eggs being released at 19. I feel them now.
You just ain't pay attention.
Girl, no.
You just ain't pay attention.
No.
You just ain't pay attention.
When I tell you I feel them, okay?
Yeah.
So when I go, short miniature story. When I go to the gynecologist for my checkup and she asked me about my eggs, I had no problem telling her, my eggs are fine, ma'am. You want to know why I know? Because I feel them every month. They still about that life. They is still about that fertilization life, okay? They've been looking to be fertilized for at least 10 years. You understand me? And they encourage me to find a man, any man.
Exactly.
Right?
And that's what's happening. Hormones. So it is hormones involved, yes. So, and I'm not saying that, and I do completely agree with you, that it is biology, that it is hormonal, it is natural. Yeah. Okay, again.
And that plays in
okay.
So let me circle, put it in a nice big bow.
Okay. So
it is not just, that sad word, the D word that Melissa don't want to say.
Right.
It's not just emotions. Like it's a combination of what your body is going through.
Mm-hmm.
Because your ovaries, your fallopian tubes, like your uterus is speaking to you and probably has been speaking to you like mine has been speaking to me for, like I said, at least 10 years.
Right.
To have a doggone, to have babies.
Right.
Right? Right? Because I'm telling y'all guys, by the time it happens, it's going to be a double or triplet situation, because it's like, thank God you finally listened to us, right? I feel like that's what my anatomy is going to say. Like, what? Give us, it's not going to have no problem in the fertilization. You know how the eggs are supposed to take one soldier in that made it out the million. My egg gonna be like, we'll take 2 or 3 right now. Yes. You know what I'm saying?
You're so silly. Oh my gosh.
So, women, I want you to think about this. Don't just think about
the milestone or the goal to have it. Like, understand what's happening.
Understand that it's working. Everything is working in unison.
Yes.
Your thought process, the way you feel emotionally, the way you feel physically, the way you feel biologically, like that all ties into it. And so when we speak to clients, sometimes they feel like they're going bonkers because it's just too much for them. You know what I mean? And it's a very tough subject. But I think it'll be helpful if you don't take that biological piece off the table. Like, put that on the table. And then you can take a side like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? And I also think, like, I feel like just have a conversation with the Lord, because clearly your body, like, we do have a clock, right? We's ready. We've been ready for a decade. Okay, so listen, Lord, like, for my personal prayer, it would be like something like, okay, Lord, you know what my ovaries has saying to me for 10 years. So I think it's nib out, right? Nib out, because, we're in the country. So shout out to Southerners.
Nib out time.
It's nib out time, okay?
Nib out that
right?
time.
And what that means is it's very close to time for us to get this popping off. Right?
Right.
And so, since in your word, you want me to have a whole other human being with opposite anatomy as me, called a husband, to go ahead on and be fruitful and multiply. Okay, well, Lord,
to procreate.
listen. So this is your standard. This is your truth. I'm following that, and I would like a husband.
Yeah.
I would like someone to have these children that my body wants to have and that I want to have. And I'm going to need your help. You know what I mean? Because he says cast our cares onto him. And that is a care. So I'm not trying to make fun of it. I'm just bringing humor to it, because this is how I talk to myself. Okay? This is how I talk to myself and my body. And when I realized my body was literally, it did not care.
It's so funny.
What race the man was when I'm walking down the street.
I tried to tell her.
She tried. I was like, oh, no,
I'm good.
Literally, like, and at the time, I worked with infants.
Yeah.
I was an administrator at a child care center. A very popular one in a huge city.
Right.
And I would be sitting there with my babies, and literally heat would come over me.
Yeah.
Like someone had...
It's very real, guys.
Like someone had blown a heater, like a vent was over me, and it was literally heat. And I'm like, what is happening? Literally in heat. Like, I'm like, now, I done seen the Animal Planet channel and National Geographic, and I know that the female would be in heat, and she made... I didn't expect my body to be like, listen... You done walk past those 50 men to get to this job, and you ain't say hi back to nobody. What is happening?
Yeah.
So
So it's a very real thing. It's very
a
real.
thing.
I honestly don't know if men understand that either.
It's a thing.
And that's why people talk about peak season.
But
that's a whole different kind of thing.
I couldn't even
that's
believe
exactly
that
what
I was
your body is going
through it. Like,
yeah.
I was like, wow, this is very...
So
it seems like animalistic right now, but obviously, right, since I do not have children, I controlled myself and I took it straight to the Lord. And, like, you gonna have to do something about this.
And that's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. Instead of allowing yourself to become distressed, overwhelmed, and feel
frustrated.
panicked and
Yeah.
frustrated, then that's one of the ways or solutions that you need to do is you need to basically, again, this is a new feeling or a new emotion or something new for you. So you need to learn, ladies, you
Yeah.
need to learn your bodies. And that's what I was telling my sister. Like, she was like, oh, I ain't feel it ain't on 19. I've always been in tune with my body. I know when something's going on inside it. Okay, and I tried to explain. It wasn't just her; it was her and her friends. I tried to explain because out of them, I'm 4, 5, 6, 7 years older than them. So I'm just like, y'all, what's happening? Because I went through it first, so it's like I understood exactly what was happening when she when she realized what was happening to her. And I'm like, do you remember all those conversations I've had? Like, so what you have to do is you have to take the time and have patience with your body,
Yes.
with yourself, and allow your mind to catch up, like to kind of calm you need to calm yourself and calm those other thoughts that's trying to interfere with what's happening in your body and allow yourself to process through those hormones. And if you need help, you have gynecologists, you have doctors, you have therapists, you have people
Yes.
in the medical field
Yeah.
that can help you navigate through emotions and through those hormones and through those things.
But let me say this.
Oh Lord.
You didn't see. Listen, and how do I
Just
say
say what you
How
gotta
do
say.
I say this? Okay, listen here. Okay,
Oh Lord.
I have gone to several doctor's appointments.
Oh boy.
That's right. I've gone to several doctor's appointments lately, sorry, in the last couple of weeks, and it has not been the best experience for me. And we talking about, hold on, we talking about regular like checkups, right? That lead to other checkups, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Or I go to a family member's appointment, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do your own research.
Do your research, yes.
Do your own research. Understand your symptoms. Understand what your options are before you go to the doctor and really have that knowledge.
Right.
Don't let it be shaky knowledge. Let it be sure knowledge. So
that I agree with.
You research whatever your symptoms are and what the choices are, whether that be surgery, whether that be some type of medication, whether that be a change of diet, whether that be, intake of more water, more vitamins, more minerals, whatever that is, like whatever the solution is that's out there. Because thankfully, right, in the year that we live in, you can get a whole medical book and read it like you didn't went to medical school. You know what I mean? Like the knowledge, the information is out there is my point.
Yes.
So with that being said, I encourage you to do not put all of your trust in a doctor. And because, remember, they have contracts with certain medications.
Oh, Lord.
They have contracts with certain devices. Why I got to be, oh, Lord, man?
Go ahead, Keisha.
And they're part of an affiliation. They're part of a hospital system, right? Where they are partnered with. There's not a lot of independent doctors anymore that have their own independent practice. I would encourage you to look for those first. To look for those doctors that have private practices. Okay? And if you want to email me,
yes,
we can talk about
Take this conversation offline.
We can talk about it later. But no, because we're talking about women and we're talking about childbirth and we're talking about being over 35. Mm-hmm. So when you walk into this child-free and having children. Mm-hmm. So this is extremely relevant to me, I think, to tell them, because when you walk into that doctor's office over 35,
your experience.
What is they going to tell you? They're going to tell you, well, yes, you need to get pregnant right away. They're going to tell you that. And they're going to tell you it's going to be considered after 35 as a geriatric pregnancy. Yeah. Right? Is a geriatric. So when they throw out these terms to you, you're like, huh? What? Because when you think about geriatric, you think about at least a 65-year-old, 75-year-old not a 35-year-old. You just don't think that. But in the medical field, that's what they will call us. And since me and Melissa are over 35, that's what they would call us. So that's what I mean. You got to have your mind strong. You have to go in like a prayer, prayed up and strong, because and this not, I'm not blaming the medical field as a whole. They are just doing, and remember, I feel like I have equate this to, when I came back from the doctor the other day, I told my sister, I equate doctors, like I put them in the same category as social workers at this point. And what do I mean? What you put your head down for?
Just finish.
Don't
Just finish your thought.
rush me.
I'm not rushing you.
Yes, she is.
No, I'm not.
Just
I said
finish.
nothing.
Just finish.
Go talk instead of talking to me about putting my head down.
Anyway. Okay. If we had the camera on. I told her the other day that I equate them as social workers, meaning I used to be in the, in the social field, and you have cases, right? You have cases, and you can't keep up with the cases because there's so many, right? So you can only give so much time to each case. What is 15 minutes?
This is not that.
Yes, it is.
This is not that conversation.
This is this conversation.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. Because do not let these doctors discourage you.
That's all you had to say.
Don't tell me how to make my point, man.
Oh my gosh.
It's already early in the morning now. I'm hyped up and I'm woke.
Finish.
Anyway, you get 15 minutes with the doctor. You
more
might
than
get
that.
30.
Yes.
If you're doing the physical right, they still they is in your areas, looking around, poking around, and then gonna have a nerve to wrap it up like without giving you much detail, because they can't. They don't have the time to do what you're supposed to be doing for yourself, which is researching your issue and what you want. For example, if you have an issue gynecologically and they say, hey, let's do an ultrasound. But you know through your research that you need an MRI, and that's going to give you a better view of what you need, then you ask for that. But know that, you know what I'm saying? Know that you need to be a combination of a lawyer / physician when you walk in there for your exams these days, and then they'll give you, medication that don't make no sense.
Yes.
So please be your own advocate. Don't let words throw you off, because clients have come back to me and be like, oh my gosh, they say it's just going to be a geriatric pregnancy, and the egg percent goes down after da. And when we're born, we have 1 million eggs, but by the time we get 35, it's only whatever, however many eggs. Listen, the doctors are not God.
No.
They are not the Most High. They are not the one that said they knew you before you formed in your mama's womb. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just remember, you got to go back to the word, and you got to build yourself up in the in this world.
Right.
And don't let nobody tell you about your uterus. Don't let nobody tell you about your fallopian tubes, about your eggs. Know what the story is. And even if the story is discouraging, what are you supposed to do? Encourage yourself in the word.
And stand in your faith.
I'm going to try to have one more point, and I'm going to let this go. The statistics are not favorable to women over 35. And the information that you get is not going to be favorable to you. But God, if you have a need, right? If He has designed you that you want children, right? You want to be fruitful and multiply, but you missing something, like a husband, right? And what they bring out of their body to put in your body so you can have one.
Yeah.
God, sometimes I look at it very practically. I pray to God for a job. He gives me that specific job. I pray to God to make a certain amount of money per year. He gives me that salary. I pray to God for a vehicle, a very specific vehicle. He gives me that vehicle. I pray for a specific place to live. He gives me that place to live. Why is this any different?
Right.
Why are we looking like this children thing should be any different than any other thing that we brought before God that we want or need? And most of the stuff is wants.
Yeah.
Truly. True. Right down to your nail polish. You know what? I saw some nail polish that was popping. I'm going to this particular salon. I'm going to pick out this nail polish. Was the nail polish available to you? Okay. So why is we stressing women?
That's my question.
Women of God, men of God.
Why are
like,
we stressing?
You know what I mean? Why is we stressing? And then, okay, one more point.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
We're told, well, how you gonna find a man, right?
Oh, that's another
Yes,
episode.
but I want to address it here a little bit. We're out here. We're unmarried.
Mm-hmm.
Do not have children.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Why is the opposite not out there too? Like, we have to stop listening to naysayers.
Yeah.
If you're a good woman, why don't you believe there's a good man out there for you? You here? You got a counterpart. He out there.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to, Lord, help our unbelief.
Yes.
We have to look at this practically sometimes. Like, it don't have to be super duper spiritual.
Right.
Yes, some people would say having a child over 45, 55 is a miracle. But you using social media to discourage yourself. Why don't you use social media to encourage yourself? Because there's all kinds of posts out there where a 63-year-old woman had a baby for the first time and had twins, 67, 57.
My goodness.
Their stories are out there. So if you got to take that one story, what you think is impossible, play that story every day. Because she ain't no special and he ain't no more special than you.
Yeah.
I'll stop there for because obviously I'm pumped.
All right.
So let me just rein myself. Let me rein myself
all right.
on in.
Okay.
God bless you people. God bless you. God bless us. It's going to be all right. It's going to be all right.
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I wrapping up all of what she said, because I just
don't do me that way.
I'm not about to go. I'm not
not
about to go through all
do
that.
me that way.
But her point, the main 2 points I want to say from what Kristy said is that you do, and this is what I was saying about knowing your body. Because we're not talking about the 19, 20-year-olds on this episode. We're talking about the ones that's over 35.
Mm-hmm.
If you're 35 and over, you definitely should know your body. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's the first thing. And if you don't, then you do need to get to know it. Mm-hmm. All right, because before you go into those doctor's office, she is correct. You need to have ammunition as far as knowing your body and knowing your rights. Just because, yes, you are going to a professional, a medical professional, that's telling you this, and this about what they think, because that's what it is. They think. Sometimes it's more than they think, but most times they're just saying what they think it is, but based on what you tell them. So the very first thing I would suggest, I work in the healthcare field. The very first thing I would suggest is that you be completely honest, because half of y'all be going up in there lying or not telling the whole truth. Okay, at least know yourself, know your body, and go in there and tell the truth. Okay, don't be leaving stuff out. You want people to help you. You got to be truthful. And the third thing is always have your, like she said, do your research, do your own homework. But I'm not saying become a Google doctor either. No. A Bing doctor, a Yahoo, and whatever other thing is out there. What's that? Telegram, IG, Facebook doctor. Okay.
You have to balance it in prayer so God can
wisdom,
calm you right on down
for wisdom
and tell you what's necessary information and what's not. Don't get bogged down and be a researcher every day 500 minutes a day.
And become every symptom you read about.
Right.
So do your research. Don't become a Google or social media doctor. Just inform yourself. So basically, also request wisdom. Ask to be led to the information that you need. Look for just the simple, like things you already know what's going on inside your body. Look for those things. So come prepared, but not unteachable, because you can learn.
That's
And
a
the
great
other
point.
thing is that you should have already researched the doctor you're going to anyway. You don't just go to any doctor because they got an MD and a DR in front of their name and an MD behind it. So research the doctors, research the physicians, research the therapists. Okay, because I was talking about medical doctors and therapists that you can talk to, because you probably in a space where you need to talk to someone else, okay, that can help you navigate. Doctors are specific. This particular thing is a specific subject matter, okay? So again, remember, they're gynecologists, OBGYN. They are gynecologists. They're not a full-on doctor that knows every single detail. They're specifically talking about your freaking uterus, okay? That's what they're talking about. Nothing else. So remember, you are holistic. You are a whole person. There's mental and physical parts of you that also probably need to be addressed. So like I said, go in there informed, prepared, but not unteachable. And don't go in there thinking you do know everything because you done read an encyclopedia or Britannica or whatever else and on Google. Go in there and listen and tell the truth. Gather the information, and then you can make an informed choice because you have the right. Now, also, I want to suggest that you also listen to your intuition. Listen to yourself. When something's off, or if you feel off about that doctor,
Intuition slash Holy Spirit. Okay, let's be clear.
all right, Keisha, Kristen, listen to what the Holy Spirit is suggesting. If that person is not feeling, if they're not right in your spirit, it's time to go on about your business, okay? It's time to go
Find a second
about
opinion.
your business.
Find a different doctor.
Exactly.
There's no rule in the rule book that you got
Gotta
to
stay
stay
with
whatever
whomever.
doctor you scheduled with,
Right.
because it fits your schedule.
You have rights. Use them. You have choices. Use them. Period. Get second and third opinions. Period. Like, it's okay. And take your time and be patient. Don't rush through these things. Take your time, and you will find the person you're supposed to talk to. You'll find a healthcare professional that you need and that you trust. And even when you do find that person, again, don't just get comfortable and don't do your own research and don't listen to your own body. Okay? And so that, along with, I believe it was the man point, right? As far as being you being a good person, there should be a good person out there. So don't believe, like she said, and I believe this is another whole lie and myth out there. There's no good men. There's no good men, because again, I deal with mostly women. There's no good men. They all this. They all that. No. If you're not all this and if you're not all that, then there are other men out there. Men out there that fits what you need or what you desire. Again, don't feel the pressure of society. Don't feel the pressure of your family. Don't even feel the pressure of yourself by trying to make something happen by a certain time. Just allow yourself to be found. Okay, ladies? Just take your time, be patient, and also expect that there is someone out there that you deem as good, or the person you want, that you desire. That you don't have to settle, is what I'm trying to say. So don't settle because you're just rushing into something to be with a warm body.
I believe it's Joel, Joel 225, and I
Hmm.
apologize if I'm jacking it up, but um, it tells you that God will renew your time, right? He will renew what the locusts have stolen,
Hmm.
okay? So, you know that we do have an enemy that comes about like a roaring lion seeking to steal, kill, and destroy. So if you are over 35, if you're 40, 45, 50, and you feel like the enemy has stolen your time, right? Stand on Joel 2:25 and believe that God will renew your time and give you back what's stolen. And the Bible also continues on to say that once a thief is found, right, he has to give you 7 times what he stole. Okay? There's no different when we're talking about our biological bodies. There's no difference when we're talking about marriage. Okay? It didn't say, oh, he will renew your time except for marriage. He will renew your time except for the family that you want to have. Right? So go to the courts. If we need to do an appeal in the heavenly courts, let's do that. Open your Bible. Look at what rights you have under the covenant and stand on those. Stand on your heavenly rights. It is not hopeless.
It is not, and we'll end it with there. Thank you guys for listening and supporting. Again, if you have questions you want to submit to us, send it to our email at podcast.twosisters@gmail.com. Until next time, guys. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Two Sisters Podcast, where we hope to encourage you on your journey of transformation and healing while having fun along the way. Follow us on IG and Twitter. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share it with your friends and family. It's available on all major podcast providers. Just search for Two Sisters Podcast. Till next time.